Is it a touchdown? It is! Late signal in the fence. Watson running right. Now throws wide open. Touchdown! Darren Fells. Watson. And he goes down. No, he stays on his feet. Throws on the run. Touchdown! Unbelievable!
The two powerhouses of each division collided this past weekend with full force. In this close epic battle, the Sharks came out as a victor over the formerly undefeated A-team. Deshaun Watson led the way, throwing for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns, putting up 37.55 fantasy points for the Sharks. Dalvin Cook put up 25.67 fantasy points on 98 yards rushing and a touchdown. David Montgomery came out of the bushes, putting up 25.30 fantasy points on 135 yards rushing and a touchdown. Kenny Golladay caught 6 of his 8 targets for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, giving the Sharks another 25.20 fantasy points. The Sharks gave the A-team their first loss of the season, winning 162.58 to 156.35.
Murray line a block. Another great block in there on that touchdown run by Andrus Peat. Opening the door. Murray is in for 6.
Latavius Murray had another dominating weekend, rushing for 102 yards and a touchdown, and catching 9 of his 12 targets for 55 yards and a touchdown, putting up 35.87 fantasy points for the Berserkers. DJ Chark put up 17.27 fantasy points for the Berserkers, catching 6 of his 12 targets for 79 yards and a touchdown. The Berserkers beat the Savages 154.20 to 122.48.
On a 2nd and 3, comes back the other way, a little flip to Jones, and behind a Williams block, he is able to take it in for a touchdown. Jones flanks to the left, empty backfield. Rodgers deep downfield for Jones, and he makes the catch at the 25-yard line, skirts the sideline, and all the way in for the score.
Aaron Jones had another monster game, this time coming from the air, catching 7 of his 8 targets for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns, putting up 36.31 fantasy points for the Horde. The Horde winning a close one, beating the Lunatics 129.98 to 121.98.
Tevin Coleman on the run. Tevin Coleman inside the 5. Touchdown 49ers. Looking one way, and they go to Tevin Coleman. He's going to score his 2nd touchdown. Down in 5, 2 minutes to play. And here is Tevin Coleman by the burst. Coleman racing to the end zone. Tevin Coleman with his 3rd touchdown of the game. Handoff is to Coleman. And Coleman with a good block from Day.
Tevin Coleman went nuclear, rushing for 105 yards and 3 touchdowns, and also catching one for a touchdown, putting up 38.37 fantasy points for Snatch City.
And a first down at the 35-yard line. Double reverse, triple reverse. Garrett Goff throw this side, and it's Cooper Kupp down the sideline. Kupp to the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown.
Cooper Kupp put up a whopping 29.67 fantasy points, catching 7 of his 10 targets for 220 yards and a touchdown. The tight end Austin Hooper had a monster game, catching 6 of his 7 targets for 65 yards and a touchdown, giving Snatch City 18.34 fantasy points. Snatch City beat the Red Sox 170.75 to 142.73.
Goff with time over the middle. Wide open is Cooper Kupp. Kupp close to the 45-yard line and a first down. 3rd and 8. Goff with time, throwing. Guess who? Kupp. Brought down shy of the 30-yard line by Jesse Bates, but not before he have another first down. We have 10:50 to play in the first half. Goff to throw it again. And he's got his man for a touchdown. Josh Reynolds.
Jared Goff had his best fantasy weekend of the season thus far, throwing for 372 yards and 2 touchdowns, giving the Apollos 33.60 fantasy points. Saquon Barkley is looking back to normal after his injury, putting up 25.67 fantasy points on 64 yards rushing, 79 yards receiving, and a catch for a touchdown. Filling in for the injured Delaney Walker, Jonnu Smith caught 6 of his 7 targets for 78 yards and a touchdown, giving the Apollos 17.20 fantasy points. The Apollos beat the Kangaroos 157.33 to 136.70. Heads up, Legendary Warriors! The trade deadline is just around the corner. Make sure you make all your trades that you want to make before Week 10. Waivers will still be active after Week 10. Here are the rankings after Week 8. In the Sword Division, the Sharks are on top at 7-1. Coming in second are the Berserkers at 5-3. Followed by the Red Sox and Lunatics at 3-5. And in last at 2-6 are the Kangaroos. In the Axe Division, the A-Team is on top at 7-1. Coming in second is Snatch City at 4-4. Followed by the Horde, Apollos, and Savages all tied up at 3-5. Here are the matchups for Week 9. The Apollos battle the Red Sox. The Kangaroos battle the Savages. The Sharks battle the Horde. The Lunatics battle Snatch City. And the Berserkers battle the A-Team. Good luck to everyone in Week 9 Legends of War Season 1.